All right. As we talk about tragic events in this country, it always comes back to one thing, one big thing, which is the Rudy Tooty point and shooties that way too many people, I think personally, in this country believe solve more problems than they create. We know, and if you look at the data, you'll see that guns just cause more problems than they fix. States that have looser gun laws are more likely to have firearm violence and are more likely to have deadlier firearm violence than states and cities and provinces that don't. This is a well-known fact. There's a reason why here in this country, where we have more guns per capita than I think almost any other country, if not every other country, there's a reason why we have more violence here than they do there. It's not some mystical, magical thing. Is because of how we decide to make our society that makes us cringe. And unfortunately, a big part of our society that we have not removed, like the cancer that it is, Republicans are here to only try to make this country worse. All right. And you may be wondering to yourself, Shark, the country is already so cringe. How could they make it worse? Well, let's listen to a couple of things that they have to say after Uvalde. We already talked about it. We don't have to talk about it even more. But after the incident took place, many Republicans were running, dashing to do what's important to them. Make sure that children are not dead? Nah, they couldn't care less about that. What they really care about is protecting what matters most to them. Their money. And money specifically from gun manufacturers and the NRA. And so they need to spin this as quickly as possible to make it anything else and anybody else's fault but the Rudy Tooty point and shooties. And so Fox News has said that they want to give solutions for what happened. Solutions. And so Fox News and other conservatives have provided 50 solutions to the violence in this country, and I think we should look at it, huh? Let's just take a look. Let's see what conservatives think a solution is to the problems that we have in this country. Let's just see.
I advocate always for an armed security guard,
armed school safety officer,
armed deputy, arming teachers,
potentially arm and prepare and train teachers and other.
So just so you know, we're five solutions in, and we're at security guard, cop, deputy, and then we get arming the assistant principal and arming your creative writing teacher. Ah, yes. The issue, as you can see, this country that has way too many guns and way too many shootings, the solution is to arm more people. Put more guns. Guns keep killing people in school. Has anybody ever thought about the solution to put more guns in school? See, here's the thing, okay? These Republicans, they're thinking too small. They're saying that we need to arm teachers. Wrong. We need to arm children. Those are the ones that we need to protect. And so if everyone has a gun, then everyone's safe. Isn't that right, chat?
Administrators,
armed school staffers,
bring in policemen,
training the students themselves.
retired military.
You thought I was joking. You thought that I was clowning around. You thought I was doing a little trick, a little goof, a little gaff. No. He actually unironically said on Fox News, one of the most viewed stations in the country, he does believe that we should be arming kids. That should be training students how to use guns to fix them from getting shot in school. See, now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the problem. Kids these days, they just don't understand how to protect themselves in school. Is the issue guns in school? Obviously not. Because we all know that if you add more guns, that means less dead people. So, obviously the solution is teaching them how to disarm the shooter, okay? And many people go over this, all right? Now, the cringe kids these days, they're worried about lame shit like school and reading, when we actually need to ensure that they care about things that matter, like getting shot dead in school. And so I was thinking that we need to teach them epic and sick moves like this. You see some of you see some of this? See these pog moves right here? Would you did you see that? Like, no gunman will ever want to take down a kid who's doing epic pog moves like this. They'd be scared out of their mind if they ever saw anything like this coming towards them. Imagine this, just bonk. All right, we need to give all kids, all right, a secret agent level training to ensure that they could take down any gunman that comes into the classroom. Okay, once again, let me show you epic moves like this. Nobody will ever be able to take down and kill your baby sister if she's armed with these amazing skills. And this is why I didn't die when I was in school, and so I want to just make sure that I bring this to you guys. I'll have you know there was a school shooting in my school every single day. And you know what? And you may be wondering, Shark, you're lying that because you're not dead. Wrong, bitch. I'm not wrong. All right? Because I had this sweet child on me, and what I did, obviously, like anybody who was trained like this, what you do is you're easily able to deflect the bullets when they come towards you. Once you get enough training, what you're easily able to do is stop all bullets with this. And that means that you can like close in on them as they're shooting. You run, specifically you keep one arm flailing behind your body as you run, and you make contact, and then just quickly one big bonk to the cerebellum. Night night. School shooting over. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Yeah, run, hide, bonk. They're gonna play this in court. Would have saved a bunch of lives. This guy makes a great point. We need to train the students. This guy's insane. Obviously, we need to keep C4s in the walls to detonate from local precinct. Yeah, what we need to do is put bombs in the floor and the walls and the ceiling. And what happens is that they're reinforced, okay? That directs all the blast towards where it is, and set up Scooby-Doo style traps for the gunmen. All right. And so when they come into the school to kill the kids, what happens is that they could watch them from the cameras in the school. And once he passes by where the explosives are, obviously what they do is the precinct officer just presses the button and detonates the C4, instantly killing them. Maybe even something like a tactical drone strike. You know, we're giving all of these weapons to police officers anyways. We're giving them all these military grade weapons. Apparently they don't know how to use them. So we need to get something that's even something that they can use that would really help stop them, which I think would be a Raptor drone. Okay, if we could drone strike school shooters, I think that this would probably be a much better solution to our problem in this country than anything else that we could propose. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking.
Retired military, retired law enforcement. We can offer them tax breaks.
If you give law enforcement the opportunity to impose martial law, we can guarantee safety and security.
Martial law. Okay, so just so you know, what this man has just asked is for the entire country to be turned into a military police state, to be turned into a police state, like curfews. Everybody's checked. The country is turned into an open air prison. That's basically what they're saying. Yeah, tax breaks. Yeah, tax breaks for retired law enforcement who go into schools and like kill shooters.
Securing that perimeter, providing kind of a ring of steel.
You have the
Fucking ring of, what the fuck is this guy talking? Ring of steel. Ah, yes. But like, this is just like these are like damn anime moves, dog. What are you talking about? Ring of steel. Shut up. What are you talking about? When you have to, yeah, Iron Dome. Yeah, that's what we need. Every school needs an Iron Dome. basically. And so when anybody walks onto campus with a gun, it instantly detects it and then fires a massive missile into the sky that comes down at 300 miles per hour onto the shooter's skull and turns them into red mist. That's what really will fix us. Yeah, get them a fucking Iron Dome.
Fences, you have the main administration building, and then you have wide gaps on either side. The fencing's not very high.
Where the door's locked, bulletproof glass.
All of these shootings have happened at the same time that we see religion and Christian values and Judeo-Christian values declining.
Okay, so just so we're on deck, what they're asking for is to turn schools specifically, and in some cases the entire United States, into a prison. Marjorie Taylor Greene talked about this. I'm not sure if we're going to be hearing from her here, but Marjorie actually said specifically that you don't see people breaking into prisons to go get rapists and murderers out, but you can see people breaking into schools with guns. And so we obviously have a big problem. And so she said that we just need to make schools more like prisons, and then we'll just be okay. These people do not care about making sure that children are safe. If you want to understand why all of these opinions are so stupid, it's because they're pulling them out of their ass, because they don't care about this. What they care about is ensuring that there are as many guns on the street as possible, because and I want you to think about this for a second, right? Like right in the middle here. I want you, once again, to think of like a small kid in your life, whether that be like your niece or nephew, your child if you have one, baby cousin, baby sibling, anything. I want you to just imagine them for a second. You can close your eyes if you want, or if you can just imagine them in your mind's eye. Go ahead. Just think about them, just looking at you, smiling, okay? I want you to understand. And some people will say this rhetoric is too harsh, but I think that it's important to understand the situation that we're really in. I want you to imagine them, okay? And understand in your heart that these conservatives would be more than happy. They'd be more than happy to trade in that child's life any day of the week to make sure that they have a gun that they may not even own or want to own. They'd be far more happy with 1, 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 10,000 dead children. They'd be far more happy with the blood of 10,000 children running like a river in the Mississippi River into the ocean than they would to give up their rifle or their gun, or maybe not even give it up, just make it harder to get. They'd be perfectly fine with their bodies being turned into ground beef and their blood to soak into the soil of every yard in America than they would to give up any weapons or make it even slightly harder for any weapons to be in this country. That's what I want you to understand. What happened to the no fun rule? I didn't say we weren't going to have no fun. I said it was going to be less fun. When do we get the Judeo-Christian force fields? I do think I don't know, obviously like the whole Judeo-Christian values thing, stopping school shootings, does not seem correct because these shootings mostly happen in conservative areas. So it's interesting how that works out, right?
Anybody who decides that they want to do something like this should immediately know that attacking a school is a death sentence for them.
Kids are afraid of being the school snitch.
We have to stop letting these schools be gun-free zones.
Okay, so, amazing. Great. Yes, we have to let school shooters know that they could get shot while they're shooting a school. Something I bet they've never thought about before. You know what we need to do? You know what's going to stop school shootings? The police being like, we will shoot you if you shoot at school. All the school shooters will be like, holy shit. Oh, did you hear that, guys? Oh my gosh. Who knew? I thought I'd be able to get away with it. Really? I don't know. Maybe that'd be a little bit more convincing if they'd stop buying them Burger King.
Gun-free zones.
People need to put their phones down and get to know the person next to them.
We have
Gen Z beyond day phone too much. That's why school shootings happen. If we had less goddamn phone, then we'd have less goddamn shooting. You ever think about that? Okay, Grandpa. Grandpa, I cannot click book. I cannot click book to finish school shooting.
Spent billions of dollars on COVID-related measures for our schools. Let's take some of that money and divert it over to hardening these soft targets.
A lot of these private schools, they take security way more serious.
Parents, take your children to church.
This anti-police.
Take them to how is going to church going to stop them from shooting a school? It's not like not going to church stopped them from shooting a school. What are you talking about? Sunday school's on Sunday. School isn't in session on Sunday. They'll just go on Monday. Yeah, what if you get shot? What if they shoot up the church? They've shot up several churches already. What are you talking about?
This narrative is forcing people not to call police.
A series of interlocking doors at the school entrance that are triggered by a tripwire, and it traps the shooter like a rat.
Dude, I'm sorry. You guys thought that I was joking earlier when I said that we need a Scooby-Doo style trap to stop school shooters. You thought I was joking when I said that's what conservatives believe. Yes, he actually thinks that we need like a Rube Goldberg style Scooby-Doo, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Like, these guys actually think that kids need to start like Home Alone style booby trapping the schools. So like the school shooter walks in, and then there's like a thing of leaves, and he steps over it, and the net comes up and captures him, and all the kids run out and they're like, "We gotcha! Now let's take off this mask to see who it really is." Like, holy crap! Call Acme. Yeah, they need to just drop a baby grand piano on him. There you go. That's what we need. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, honestly, that's everything that I'm saying right here is just another iteration of this is so fucking stupid. Trap him, get a tripwire, get it. Okay, so make the entrance to the school a booby-trapped series of interlocking doors that is also a maze that traps the shooter like a rat. When you get him, just claptrap.
God is the answer to that.
There's a moral rot going on that we all need to dig in and try to address.
Holy crap, they're actually saying that we need to fix the scarlet rot. We need to fix the scarlet rot that's destroying our country.
I vote for decreasing social media exposure.
We need to start focusing on mental health.
Tell us why you think it's important to pray in a moment like this.
They just want to do nothing. I'm a Christian, okay? And this is still me thinking that 100% they just want to do nothing. Nothing in the Bible says when you come across an issue, throw your hands up and just pray and then wait for God to fix it for you. It doesn't say that, just so you know. That's not real. They just make it up to be able to put everything that they don't want to do in like God's hands and then just like walk away. Because once again, they don't care about any of this. All of these things, the reason why they're so stupid, I'll say it again, is not because they actually genuinely believe it. It's because they care about their money. They want to be able to keep guns on the street. They want to be able, and they don't care how many children die. It doesn't matter to them. They don't care about children. They, like I said, they'd be perfectly fine if hundreds of thousands of children's blood runs through this country like a river every single year, as long as they get to keep their guns, because children don't matter to them. They never cared about life. They don't care about human life. They never have. They never will. What they care about is their money and and to be able to use these political issues to get more money from people who think that they're scared that the government's going to come and take their guns and then throw them in the Biden forced feminization trans camp in Dallas Birkenau and ban all guns and then turn us into George Ornbachel's 1573, which I've read, and it's a book about when the government does stuff. That's what they really care about.
It calls for faith and prayer.
Why is it that schools
are protected in the same way that airports.
There are some people who don't want police officers in schools with guns because other people are triggered.
Assault rifle and enhanced body armor.
A notification system to let everybody in the school know what's happening.
A notification system? Oh, you mean going into lockdown? Notification? Do they want to put this with like the training the kids? And so the kids all like reach under their desk and put on their sick bandanas on, and then they grab their baseball bats and they go like take that. Yes, it's called a bell. It's called an intercom, dumbass. What do you mean? Do you think that they didn't understand what was going on when they heard like bullet shots outside of their classroom doors for 12 minutes? What are you talking about? Also, on that thing when it comes to mental health, Republicans don't care about mental health. They never have. And honestly, I'm not sure if they ever will, because Greg Abbott, before this shooting happened, he cut $211 million from mental health. He doesn't care about mental health. He said he cut mental health after a shooting occurred where he said mental health is important. And he still believes that he wants to cut the mental health even more after he said that mental health is important after this, because he doesn't want to blame guns. So it has to be something else. Something has to be the issue. So let's just say that it's this thing that I keep cutting and making sure that doesn't get funded. They don't care. They don't care.
Point of entry. I don't like talking about this stuff as it happens because I don't think it contributes anything positive.
Just don't. Guys, just cover your eyes. Pretend it doesn't happen. See, here's how we fix school shootings. We just... Have you ever, who's like, can I get a show of hands? Who's sad that we've been talking about the school shooting? Can I get a show of hands? Do I have anybody in chat who's a little sad that we're talking about a school shooting? You know? Because I know I'm personally a little sad about it. You're sad? Yeah. Fuck you. Have you ever just thought about just like not paying attention? Did you even think about how if you just never heard about it, that it basically never happens? It's wild. Just like, don't think about it. And then it's just like gone, dude. I'm very smart. Also, a single point of entry is also dumb as hell. What happens if there's a fire? If there's a fire? What, the kids just burn to death in the school because they can't all get out the single door that's in the school?
Parents should be held accountable for raising their children properly.
Ballistic blankets.
We just don't have the resources to get law enforcement there quickly.
Ballistic. I still can't imagine the idea of, hey kids, school shootings happening. Go run to your cubby, grab your ballistic blanket. And they're like, okay. And they put on their bulletproof blanket, their Kevlar blanket. And then they just like pile up in the floor or something. And so what, like the shooter can like it this isn't a cartoon. We don't live in a Pillow Fortress. We don't live in a cartoon, dog. It's not like when they get shot, the bullet's just going to bounce off. It's just going to snap their bones. And honestly, what's more likely to happen is that it's just going to pull the blanket through their body rather than just stop it. It sounds like something that you need for a war zone. It's because they don't care that schools are a war zone. It doesn't matter to them. They care about their guns. They don't care about dead kids. They never have. They send all their schools. All these people talking here are all multimillionaires, and they send their kids to private prison-like schools in which they pay $300,000 a year to keep them there. They don't have to worry about any of this stuff because they have their own private security force. They can pay for it not being an issue. You're the one who has to worry about this, and they couldn't give a shit less about you because you don't pay their bills, and your kid definitely doesn't pay their bills either. Their dead body is only a little inconvenience on their way to the bank. Your kids, your baby nieces, your baby cousin, your nephew's dead body is only a speed bump for them on the way to the bank. Okay, and I want you to remember all that because it's true.
How about an executive order for these mental health facilities?
We have to start rebuilding.
How about Biden does an executive order to make like mental health facilities? Has anyone ever thought about that? What are you talking about? What does this even mean? What does it even mean? And here's the thing, Republicans, if that had to go through the Senate, Republicans wouldn't want to fund it because Republicans don't care.
Building this country and returning to God.
I arm myself everywhere I legally can.
It's up to you to protect yourself.
Number 50.
Everywhere I legally can.
It's up to you to protect yourself.
Number 50. 9-year-old kid died. And he's like, fuck you, protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. He's like, get it. Yeah, he's like, get good. What am I listening to? You're on your own? Yeah, he's like, literally, you're on your own. Who cares? He's like, well, get good. Skill issue. Yeah, have you ever thought about just like not getting shot in school? These people are these are the definition of ghoul. And here's the thing, even during this stream, I've been like trying to moderate my language a little bit. I don't want to just call these people like evil demons who need to be like sent into the deepest pits of hell. But like, I don't know, man. It's really hard not to think that that if Joe Biden has the ability to send the military in to round these people up and like cartoonishly put a big chain around all of them and then connect the other end of the chain to like a 1-ton piece of metal and then drop them in the middle of the Marianas Trench. Okay, it's very hard for me not to say that, but boy, do they make it difficult. Boy, do these people make it hard not to say stuff like that, because man, these people are horrible human beings who could not care less about children dying. Wow.